Hello everyone, this is Terry. Welcome to my YouTube channel Amethystastrotarot. I'm a practicing astrologer and a tarot reader. You may always contact me for the chart readings or tarot readings through the links in my profile. And today is 2nd of June 2025. I actually have done this video, a bit of the recording, but I made a mistake. I stopped the recording and I just lost everything. So I'm restarting. And today, why are we here together? Because I will be talking about the second decade of Gemini under my series One Decade, One Card, One Chart. So actually, just I will do the thing now if I can find my file, of course. Yes, I will share it just now with you all. So today I will be talking about the as the sun is going through the second 10 degrees of the air variable sign Gemini, which means that at the moment, I think today is currently is around 12 degrees. We will look at the Decan rulers of this Decan. Normally, the traditional ruler of Gemini is Mercury, but according to the Chaldean, or as we know, descending order, the Decan ruler is Mars, and according to the triplicity order, the Decan ruler is Venus. So I mean that Chaldean order is according to the speed of the planets, that it starts from Saturn to the moon, and triplicity order is the that you are in the same element. Triplicity of the other signs. So for Gemini, Gemini is an air sign. So we are talking about Gemini, Libra, in Aquarius, and we go accordingly. So we take the first decan as Gemini, second decan, the second air sign that is coming right after Gemini is Libra, and after that is Aquarius, and we get the rulers for that. And as the first decan of the Gemini, according to the Chaldean order, it was Jupiter. So after Jupiter, as I said, that descending order, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars comes in terms of speed. So this would be our conversation about today, because the minor arcana that is associated, this is from Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the minor arcana that is associated with the second decan of Gemini is the Nine of Swords. And today's chart that I will be talking about, because she has sun in the second decan of Gemini, will be Brooke Shields. It's an interesting chart. When I come to the chart, you will understand. And I was telling when I was making the kind of social media posts, I mean, like that I'm going to make the second decan of Gemini, etc. And I was telling, like, okay, we can call, I think, Brooke Shields, because I have seen her chart for the first time in my life. And I said, okay, we can call her from now on, I think, Mercury, in short. So because it was the impact that it made me when I saw all the placements that she has. I will explain why shortly, but I think I will start with the Nine of Swords. And when I'm talking about the Nine of Swords, we can also talk about and see how Mars in Gemini could mean, or Venus in Gemini could mean, and what kind of impact that they may bring, or additional information that they may bring to the Sun in Gemini. In this case, of course, it could be the case that you may have other placement, other planets in the second decan of Gemini as well, and that will hold for them as well. So let me share the Nine of Swords with you all. So we are looking at the Nine of Swords from the Rider-Waite Smith. We can see that there is someone. It's like as if she has just woken up from her sleep, and then it's like cannot sleep, and it's like what is going on. It's like kind of a effect of a nightmare. I mean, like you are up and you don't know how to put yourself to sleep, and it's like I think that kind of, it's like I think more mercurial, because you may see it with the Virgo as well, that's this overthinking, but there is this part of I think Gemini that overwhelmed maybe with all the ideas etc that are running through your mind as well. And when we look at the actually Nine of Swords, the way that they go like parallel to the person, actually nothing is touching that person. I mean, like they are going like as if you are walking side by side, but they are not touching. I mean, even this could be kind of some less positive thoughts or something like that. Actually, they are not touching you, they are tangent. I mean, are they really related to me? It's like this, it's like I mean, in a way thinking about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, everything. Are they real? Is there a reality part, or am I being getting concerned for nothing, or am I exaggerating things in a way? And all these questions could be coming through this, or what kind of thoughts are keeping me up, and what is it about them? I mean, what is the energy that is coming through them? We could be talking about this, and it's interesting, no? The kind of patchwork quilt that it has. I mean, it has all the actually we see the planets. I mean, and the signs, the glyphs of the planets, and the signs that are all over this. And there is, when we look at this, I always see that as if there is someone that is uh, like a, I think that is like a equestrian, or do I remember the name of the um, uh, sports wrong? But it looks like that, that there is something equestrian. No, I don't think so that that is the equestrian. I will look at it just now. Um, I mean, that's as if someone is going like towards another person, and the other one is in a defense. It's a very maybe Martian impact here as well. Like there is like a bit of going, making that step forward. So I think that these images are also interesting on this card as well. So uh, I think when we think about this card, okay, it's fencing, equestrian, I think is the with the horses, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, this is the fencing. It looks like the fencing. I mean, like, what is it? So when we are thinking about Mars in Gemini, Mars is about like the very inside us, what we are fighting for, what we are fighting against. I mean, it's like that kind of fighting spirit, along with the, I mean, it's like the courage, the bravery, the energy, the assertiveness, the, I mean, like enthusiasm, and sometimes impatience, and sometimes aggression, everything coming together. But that's all this fiery energy that is coming through. But I think that's always at a mental level, right? Right? Maybe it's sometimes here what we are seeing is like this is an internal fight that we are having. Maybe we are just fighting against our own thoughts, right? I mean, it's like sometimes we need to, I mean, like, no, you are fighting against the demons, whatever is like keeping you up, and I mean, affecting you in not in most positive ways. And so you are thinking, what can I do about that? I mean, I think in that sense, the initiative, the power that is coming through that Mars could be important. So maybe we should find other ways to fight some of the thoughts, some of the ideas that are keeping us up during the nights, like that overthinking or getting overwhelmed by all the information that is coming through our brains in a way. I think that's an interesting part of it. And I think Venus is in Gemini. Gemini is also, that all these values and all these ways of relating to people are more like through the mental exchange. It could be written, it could be oral, that all that communication, that social things, and also all the, I think, information, the knowledge, the things that are feeding our curiosity could be more valuable for us, and they could be the things that make us to get into touch with other people. So I think in that sense, in this regard, I mean, it could be, how do we get in touch with ourselves, no, as well. I mean, sometimes we have to see what is more valuable, what is worth for us, and accordingly make that decision. And maybe after we can make that decision, we can get our sleep back. I mean, so because when we think about the major arcana card that is associated with the Gemini, is the Lovers, and the Lovers is like is about making that decision, not to decide which way to go. And in some of the decks, not in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but in other decks that I work with generally, we have this always this decision to go with something that is like temporary. I mean, maybe it gives you some kind of satisfaction short term, or you go with something that is more rational, more mind based, but it will have a future, and it can have this long term impact on you. I think that is also making those decisions, and everything that is included with the Gemini. I mean, at least with the Lovers card as the major arcana card, because when we are talking about, I think, Gemini, we can look at the um, Lovers card, that is the major arcana that is associated with the Gemini, and the I mean, like the either we can look at the traditional ruler Mercury, the magician, the skills, no, that we have to know how to use the skills that we have our hand, so that we can make some meaning about that. So all coming together, Nine of Swords can, I think, be saying like, yes, something is keeping you up. Yes, you may be, I think, that the overwhelmed with some of the things in your life, but I think the maybe the solution sometimes could be coming through those major arcana cards, and the also the what we have to fight for and what we have to fight against, that is mentally, I mean, in Mars in Gemini, and what the values that we have to keep in hand, what is valuable, maybe something that is rational thoughts, that is can be some information that is that makes more sense. And all these things coming together might give us the answers, uh, how to uh, get ourselves moving forward without uh, staying up late at night. I think it's something like that. Of course, according to the context and everything, we can uh, think about other answers. We can think about other interpretations, other meanings, etc. Because at the end of the day, if you are making in-person tarot readings, you have a chance to, of course, to ask more questions to the querent about their situation. But if you are like me, as a tarot reader, likes more doing written readings, then the surrounding cards and the question, the underlying effects and everything could give me more information about what it is that maybe the querent really wants to know about it. So I will stop sharing the Nine of Swords after talking about it like quite a long time. And let's go to Brooke Shields' chart, and I will explain why I was impressed by that chart. I was all the time thinking that I'm mercurial, etc., because I have some placements in Virgo. So this is the Brooke Shields chart. You may all know about her, or may not, and not everyone should know about her, but I think that she's a very accomplished actress from the United States. She was born on 31st of May 1965 in New York. So happy belated birthday to Brooke Shields. That would be her 60th birthday actually. And that's why I think she has already had her Jupiter return, and looking at here, Saturn also, she had her Saturn return as well. That's interesting. Yeah, of course, she had it at 58, 59. I would have imagined that maybe she would still have her Jupiter return, but she also had it already. Anyway, so Sun. Lucky me, because I always have difficulty I think in Gemini period, I have difficulty in finding uh, in every decan a public figure that has the sun in that particular decan. And later, I mean, like after I have difficult, I find someone, and then all of a sudden it's like, today Clint Eastwood was born, and tomorrow that would be the birthday of this, and I'm like, oh, there are many people actually. Anyway, that was Brooke Shields for me. So as we can see here, Sun, yay, in the second decan of Gemini, 10 degrees 02 minutes. And but why of course this was a B rating, Rodin rating, when we look at it, but the thing is that I think it's from the biographer's reports or something like that. So it could not be the 100% that her ascendant maybe is in Virgo, but what is for sure is that she has this Virgo stellium, whether we want it or not, where we see the Uranus, Pluto, and Mars. And then we have the Jupiter, Sun, North Node, Moon, Venus. I'm not saying MC because if the time of the birth is not clear, it could change. But there is a huge Gemini stellium that we are seeing here as well. And when we think about that, the traditional rulers of both Virgo and Gemini is Mercury, and Mercury is the actually star of this chart, because that would be dispositing all these placements that we see. I mean, that Mercury in Taurus actually in a way has the last word in all of these, not last word, but is carrying quite an impact on this chart. And it's interesting because it's in Taurus. So it's like when we have all this swift Mercury thinking, all this Gemini, air mutable, and Virgo, it's like earth, but it's also mutable. It's quite a uh, uh, changing impact, right? It's like over flexible, over adaptability. I mean, maybe changing ideas, changing emotions, and changing maybe sometimes path, and that kind of thing all the time. But at the end of the day, with Mercury and Taurus, maybe the one that is like putting a break in all of these, and it's only fixed placement actually. In this chart, it's saying that like we have to slow down with our way of thinking, with the way that we communicate, and the way that we maybe move around in short distances, and the way that we maybe uh, I mean that way of communicating with our siblings, and everything, that we have to make sure that our feet are on the ground, we are steady, we are consistent, and we can hold on to the things. Because otherwise, with all these mutable placements, it's like sometimes it could be like we are just like uh, kind of too much flexible. Too much flexibility sometimes may hinder us getting a certain direction. But I think this Mercury in Taurus is the one maybe holding that direction in a way. Also, I mean, like Saturn is also in Pisces. That's another mutable thing. There is no cardinal placement at all. It's like not getting any initiative, taking the leads, etc. Or it's like it's pushing you forward. I mean, like you don't have a real earth. I mean, not earth, but if when you don't have this um, water elements or cardinal modality missing in the chart, maybe sometimes it's pushing you to get your feelings much involved, and to push you to get that consistency and keeping things, and the sustainability, everything more push more. I think it could be the case. I mean, it could always go both ways. I mean, we have all different meanings that we can get. But coming back to the second decan of Gemini, that the sun is there, we can think that, I mean, like she has a lot of this uh, courage, and also the enthusiasm, the energy, the fierce power that is coming through Mars when she's expressing herself, and when she's getting into, I think, social contact with other people, and when she's actually shining in a certain area of her life. In this case, if the ascending sign is right, I mean, it could be in the area of beliefs, in the area of faith, but it could be also in the area of broadcasting and all that is involved. I mean, like that, to find a way to connect with the other cultures, with the rest of the world in a way. And so mental traveler in a way, mental journey could be very important in that sense as well. And with the Venus, as I said, I mean, that I think in her identity, this mental and rational relationship that she could be building with other people could be very important, with the wider community could be very important for herself and for her values and for her relationships in a way. And I think that also, I mean, also, I mean, as I said, I mean that the way that she might value things, or she goes into a relationship, would be at a more intellectual level, in how much information, how much mental stimulation could come through. I think that could be very important for her. I mean, it's like it feels like communication, thinking. It's like everywhere. I mean, all that information, all that knowledge, and that being the medium, I mean, in that intermediary through uh, between the other people and then herself and the world. I think that that is really important, and I think maybe it's the way that she might be shining. I mean, like she could be very much interesting in getting all this information and all this knowledge, all this kind of everything that could be satisfying her curiosity and uh, passing it to the world, to the other people, uh, in a way that that everyone could get hold of that information as well. I think maybe that's the how the acting could be satisfactory for her in that sense. But it's really interesting to see. I mean, of course, there are other things to look into this chart, but I already talked about too much about Mercury impact, and then I hardly came to the some part. So I think I believe that, I mean, it could be talked about this chart for hours, and I think that, I mean, when during the Neptune and the Saturn transits in the sign of Pisces, that could have had a lot of impact on Brooke's life, and it could have been a very interesting journey in maturing up and growing up in certain areas of her life, in addition to maybe finding out more ideals, more dreams to pursue without boundaries as well. And that could have had an impact on her, like if you go one by one on her live in on her even spiritual journey, on her identity, on her inner world, on her relationships, and on her power as a warrior, as a fighter, as this energy that keeps her going, the transformation and everything that could create some I mean, like um that is like on her outside the box thinking, being eccentricity and everything that is coming through her. I mean, like that Saturn and Neptune transits really could have been really interesting period for her. Maybe sometimes it could have challenged her, sometimes it could have pushed her to keep that balance, and sometimes might have conflicted her, and they have made her like push forward, sometimes pushed aside, and so that she had to move forward with her mental abilities in a way. So, but now when things move into Aries, that they will come back to, of course, Pisces again. I think maybe some of the things would have already settled down, and it would be time to move forward in a way. I mean, like that would now these new transitions, I mean, in transits, that Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries would have more amicable aspects, amicable touches to Brooke's life, that I also started talking about that. In the end, I would really get mm, I wouldn't be able to get myself out of the, I think, in a way, rabbit hole like Jupiter in Gemini. Yeah, that is also going towards the end of its cycle. I will stop sharing here. Right, I mean, Jupiter soon will move into the Cancer, where it is exalted. That we already talked about it with Allison, already made a nice. Yeah, Jupiter by today is in the 28th degree of Gemini, so we will see what will happen when the Jupiter goes in Cancer, and you can always watch that video as well. Wow, I talked a lot, I think, today, but I think Brooke's chart is really interesting, and I think the Nine of Swords and Mars in Gemini, Venus in Gemini, etc., all together, all these Decan rulers and cars and the charts, I think, give us different ideas about how to approach the Decan rulers and their impact on whatever placement we have, in this case, in the second Decan of Gemini. I hope that you found it helpful. I generally try to make a lot of brainstorming. Uh, I have to say that I don't get prepared because not that because I I know everything. Oh, I know everything, so I don't get no. I don't get prepared because I think sometimes when I look at the card, it's really important. Like some of the symbols, sometimes I really realize that that symbol was there. For example, I knew that there was something on that part of the bed, but I never thought that it was the fencing. It was like a scene of fencing or that kind of thing, which was quite a, I think, Martian, I think, scene as well for me. So I think in that sense, it's really nice to think about, to improvise during these videos. I mean, like maybe next year, if I sit and do it with another chart, the same card, but with another chart, different things may come to my mind. I think that's the nice thing. I mean, some of the information is, of course, already there, that is shared and known by everyone, that is written, etc. But some of the things I think we just develop by looking at the things uh, much better, and by reading, learning more. So I hope that you will enjoy this recording. I really enjoyed when I was doing it. I really like looking at the natal chart of Brooke's and looking at the Nine of Swords. And I wish all the best. I will be soon back with other videos, both collaborative ones and both my personal ones. So I wish all the best. See you next time. Bye bye.